cover a very simple pose, one of the moves in the Zhangmanqing form that is physically far less demanding than the others I've shown on the long Vimeo movie, almost 2 hours of coverage of the energetic architecture of Zhangmanqing Tai Chi. This move is really simple. It doesn't have any of the complications of the other postures, and it's also a lot easier to understand. So it's easier physically, it's easier mentally, and it packs a tremendous, a really powerful energy wallop when you understand it. It's not that hard to understand. Alright, this very simple pose that incorporates a lot of the results and the energies that come from the more complex maneuvers is the preparation for the full Fenjiao, separate legs pose that I detail in the Peng book and in the Surge book. And that's a little more challenging in terms of balance and strength and even understanding the architecture of the maneuver, and it's got some dynamic elements to it. So the preparation for that is much simpler. You simply stand with one leg. The rear leg is going to be at a 45-degree angle to the front direction of the pose. The front leg will be straight and your waist is squarely aligned frontward with the front leg. So the rear leg's a little out, the front foot is straight, the waist is straight to the front. Then you're going to put your arm such that the arm that corresponds to what will be the kicking leg, the front leg, is on the outside. So it'll look like this, where I've got my right arm in front and my right leg in front. Sink into the hip joint. Really feel that you're bearing some weight with that rear leg. This is 100% of the weight. This is 0. So really feel that. It's a lower body emphasis in this move. Then your arms are going to be in the beautiful lady handshake that I've discussed extensively in all the other books, a straight wrist with the fingers aligned but not tightly pressed. This is about all there is to it physically. Now, energetically, what you want is mentally to emphasize the contrast in feeling between the rear leg, which is doing all the work. It's holding your entire body up. It's working hard, the muscles engage. Can't help it. This isn't artificial tension. This is functional tension. The front leg, however, has no tension at all. It's completely light. In fact, it wants to rise. The contact point is just the ball of the foot, or just the tip of the shoe. But it's tethered there, it's anchored, and yet it wants to rise. It wants to pull against that, like a tethered dirigible wants to sort of lift up, but they've got the ropes around it anchored to the pegs on the ground, and it can't. That's the feeling you want to keep actively in your mind as you perform this. Keep working with that. Don't just let the pose die and just let the leg die and everything die. Mentally, not physically, no tension, but just feel that this leg wants to rise, and yet it can't. That will generate tremendous energy through both the empty and the full legs, which will unify in the hip and groin area and rise up and charge your arms like you won't believe. The arms are really the ultimate beneficiary of this exercise, believe it or not, even though you're not doing fancy stuff with your arms like you might enjoy from other methods. You're just holding them there, and yet this is what charges them. The lower body charges the upper body always. That's the principle of Tai Chi. This pose really embodies that. Now you can even, as you work it, you can have cycles in your mind and in your energy of trying more actively to raise that front foot, raise it, but you can't because of the anchor point. And then let it go just slightly, and then try again. Raise it up a little, work with it, let it go very slightly. You won't see much physical change. Somebody watching wouldn't see much. But inside you feel it, and then you try again. Let it go in cycles until the energy begins to stream and you don't need the cyclic work anymore. It's just a constant stream, or even a solid state as you get more advanced. But for now, you can work it in cycles. Try to rise, rise, rise. Let it go, rise it, but it can't. You're working on the edge of impossibility here. How can you get the minimal contact with the floor and yet retain contact with the floor?